Hey everyone, today we are switching gears and switching settings. As you can see, I came straight from work and there's a reason for this. No ride, no heart rate zones today, just a local park that I'm at, a gentle breeze, some sun, and the science of recovery. Got some great recovery gear here, compression garments, some self-myofascial release techniques, massage gun, foam roller, and whether you're an athlete, one of my students in class, or a weekend warrior, understanding how to recover is just as important as the training itself. So in today's episode, we're diving into recovery strategies. What's hype, what's helpful, and how to recover smarter. So as I settle down here on my yoga mat to do some recovery, let's start with the big picture. Recovery isn't just doing nothing. It's a biologically active process. Your body is restoring glycogen, repairing tissue damage, balancing hormones, clearing out byproducts, and resetting the nervous system. There are two major forms of recovery. One, passive recovery, like sleep, getting a massage, taking a rest day. And two, active recovery, like an easy swim, a walk, a hike around a park, or some mobility work with foam rollers and some self-myofascial release. Both play a role, and the right strategy really depends on the context of what's going on, your age, your training status, your goals. Let's talk temperature, right? Heat and cold are two of the oldest recovery tools in the book, and they affect circulation, inflammation, and the perception of soreness. Both work in reducing pain. Cold exposure, like ice baths or cryotherapy, can potentially reduce DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, a little bit, which is great for tournaments or back-to-back events to get you back quickly. But if used right after strength training, resistance training, it actually might blunt muscle hypertrophy, and you don't want that. Heat therapy, on the other hand, saunas, hot baths, even just local heating pads, promotes vasodilation, relaxation, and growth hormone release, a good thing. Sauna use on its own has even been associated with certain cardiovascular benefits in endurance athletes, which is pretty amazing. Those heat shock proteins can be pretty darn incredible. So they both work for pain. What's the best use? Well, cold is probably better for acute inflammation, immediate injury, back-to-back events to get you back quickly. Heat is probably better for chronic injuries, relaxation, that post-recovery day reboot to get you back on your feet. Now, what about massage and self-myofascial release? Well, the research shows moderate benefits in reducing perceived soreness and improving the range of motion. Foam rolling temporarily increases the mobility and can reduce your DOMS. It doesn't break up scar tissue like a lot of people think. It more likely alters pain perception. It reduces those afferent pain fiber signals when you're rolling it on that muscle and increases blood flow. Very important. Massage, especially when done by trained hands, can support lymphatic drainage, nervous system down regulation, reduce your stress that we'll talk about in a bit. And yes, also increase blood flow, just like foam rolling does, and improve recovery perception. And when you don't have access to a massage therapist, you can engage in the self-myofascial release techniques and self-work out those kinks and knots that you got. In fact, I'm going to start working on my hammy right now. In the end, massage, foam rolling, self-myofascial release do help us feel better, and that matters, right? Perception of pain and comfort is important during your recovery week. Can reduce our stress and cortisol levels, which further improve our recovery. Next, what about compression garments, right? Socks, tights, sleeves. These are thought to reduce swelling and improve venous return, especially after things like long flights or, importantly, endurance events. The science, well, kind of mixed, but the perception, very positive. Some studies show that it does seem to increase blood flow in certain situations. It can reduce swelling and, importantly, improve venous return. Other studies suggest those effects don't actually contribute to the real tissue healing at a molecular level, however. But if it feels good and you relax more as a result, that improves your recovery week. And it can't hurt. Now, what about percussive therapy? Think massage guns, right? Not magical, but they can stimulate mechanoreceptors and proprioceptors in the body, reduce muscle tone, and they can feel amazing after a hard session. These have been out only a couple years, and there isn't conclusive science on them yet, but they have really increased in popularity. They probably increase blood flow, yes, and may improve some lymph drainage depending on where you put it in the body. May potentially accelerate DOM's healing. That sounds good to me. If it can speed DOM's recovery, can it help my hamstring strain too? So the timing of all this couldn't be better. There's a reason why I'm out here today right after work. I reduced my volume as I'm in the taper week, and I was trying to follow my own recommendations by maintaining the intensity. Well, may have gone a little bit overboard in the intensity, unfortunately. Went a little too hard this past weekend and strained my hamstring. Yeah, right before the event, 1 week away. Horrible. So I've been employing all these recovery techniques quite a bit. I've been, hammering the percussion device here on my hamstring, doing the compression wrap, doing some self-myofascial release, and employing some heat to loosen things up. I also took a gentle hike, did some active recovery as well near a lake this weekend to increase some blood flow and get that active recovery and passive recovery. The reason why I picked this park here is there's a nice walk around a baseball field, and I'm going to do a little more active recovery on a walk. It is a lot better, but I'm still feeling a little ginger in that hamstring, and I'm a little concerned how it's going to go on event day, but this is what Recovery Week is all about. Now, not all recovery is physical. The nervous system needs recovery too, and that's where modalities like acupuncture, meditation, and even some float tanks, if you've seen those, come in handy. Acupuncture has evidence for pain relief, some slight reduction in muscle tightness sensation, and some autonomic regulation. Meditation and mindfulness increase parasympathetic tone, great for lowering heart rate, lowering cortisol levels, and anxiety and concerns pre-race. Float tanks, which are also called sensory deprivation tanks, if you've seen these. Not only can they help with relaxation, of course, they have Epsom salts that are in the baths often, so you may get some bonus magnesium absorption too. But if you want real gains, sleep and full-on stress reduction techniques are your recovery foundations. That's next. Now, all the ice baths and massage guns in the world won't help you if you are underfueled or sleep deprived. Post-exercise nutrition, a combo of carbs and protein, certainly supports glycogen repletion and muscle repair. We're not going to focus on that today, but you must be nourished to recover properly. Hydration, I've been hammering at that all week, supports thermoregulation and blood volume and improves your overall circulation. And sleep, 7 to 9 hours, plus naps if you're doing a lot of heavy training, is where the magic happens. Growth hormone release, tissue repair occurs here, and you can only get these effects with a couple rounds of that stage 3 slow wave sleep. Memory consolidation, learning, emotional processing, and all that good stuff, feeling mentally refreshed, occur towards the end of sleep in the REM stages, so you need to get that full 7 to 9 hours to benefit physically and mentally. So as I take you along with me on my active recovery walk, how do you know if you're recovering well? Well, you can track things, right? Resting heart rate. Most watches have that. I don't wear my Garmin right now, but it has it. Heart rate variability. Some watches have that. The technology and science on that is amazing. It can really show you a lot of insights on your recovery. Third thing, low budget, mood and soreness scores. Yeah, simple, but it works. Logging your daily mood, your soreness levels, your pain levels, how you feel in your response to your workout, really tells you a lot about where you are in the recovery. And lastly, sleep quality. Some watches, some mattress covers, even some bed systems now do this for you. Some beds even give you resting heart rate and heart rate variability from the bed. Amazing. Recovery isn't one size fits all. What works for a 22-year-old sprinter may not work for a 50-year-old slow endurance rider like me. So whether it's a dip in the ocean over there, a mindful walk, heck, a yoga session in the park, or maybe even just a nap on the beach, recovery is where your body builds back from training. So if you found this helpful, please give it a like, drop a comment. I would love to know what recovery techniques you use. There are so many out there. And lastly, the Curebound Cancer Challenge is this weekend. I am both excited and a little concerned about my hamstring and how it's going to perform. I'll see you at the finish line, hopefully.